Hello everyone, Pallytime here. Welcome back to Heroes of the Storm. In today's video, we are playing Tychus in our A through Z playthrough. Can I just say that if we blew up my proportions, I think I would look a lot like Tychus. I mean, my shoulders are way too big. My chest just kind of sits there. Doesn't really, I don't know. I got a stomach. I don't have a butt. I feel like Tychus is me in the future. You know, if they strap me into some kind of Space Marine suit and make it so I can't leave. Anyway, that was a little off topic. Tychus has changed a lot over the course of his development. Previously, he was mostly played with generic talents like Stone Shield and First Aid, and that was really the only way he can stay alive. Now they reward Tychus players for going in, being aggressive, and building up their minigun stacks, and I would say it's a pretty fun way to play. He has lane clear, he has the ability to punish tank-heavy teams, and I think he found a pretty nice spot in the game.
Hell, it's about damn time.
You see what I did there? Oh, I'm good at my job. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we find ourselves on the Towers of Doom. No webcam today because this is the day after my 24-hour live stream, and I was staring at a light, several studio lights, for 24 hours. It left my eyes a little agitated, and I'm pretty sure I scratched my cornea on my left eye in my sleep. So, yeah, let's just say, you know, I didn't want people to look at me today. At level 1, we're going to go for Press the Advantage. Run and Gun increases your basic attack range. We're going to be using this to chase down enemies with the minigun, which is now an activatable trait that Tychus has that allows him to deal percentage-based health damage to his targets. That means the higher the health of the enemy opponent, the enemy hero that you're going after, the more damage the minigun will do. I mentioned that Tychus was really good at taking down these tank targets that kind of initiate for their teams, and that is the way that he does it. Take my keys out of my pocket, excuse me. Now, I will be the first to admit that I am not the best Tychus player in the whole world, but he is really good. And I do think that he is very underrated in today's meta. I think if you want to learn the game and you want to pick a good hero to do that on, I think Tychus is great. Now, he does kind of have these nuances in his playstyle, or I guess drawbacks in his playstyle. He's very good at pushing lanes. He can clear lanes well. He can chase enemies well. And with certain talent choices, he can also become quite survivable. So the drawback to this is just that he has very limited range. His auto attack radius is not very long. We're going to go ahead and turn on our Q here and try to chase after this Illidan, dealing that damage. Now that Arthas is here, we'll go ahead and turn around on him and try to get some auto attacks in with that minigun. So you kind of just have to get used to the fact that most other ranged assassins can kind of run circles around you while you're still trying to get in range to hit them. So you have to use your abilities really wisely to counter that. Our Q ability is Overkill, and this is not auto attack based. It's just damage that you do on a frontal cone. You are using your minigun to do that damage, but don't get that confused with an auto attack. And because it's not an auto attack, it circumvents a lot of things like block and Illidan's evasion. Tychus actually used to be one of the best counters to Illidan just because of the Q ability, being able to go through that shield. Or go through those evasion that he has for 2 seconds. His W ability is the frag grenade. I know I'm going back a lot. That's just because I have no faith in my survivability yet. W ability is the frag grenade. This is a skill shot that will knock back enemies from the impact radius, from the impact point. So it allows you to kind of control the battlefield a little bit just by, you can basically determine where people do and do not position with the frag grenade. So if I wanted their Tychus to be a little closer to these turrets, we can knock him into those. I'm going to try to channel with our Gazlo. We're probably a little too close, but it looks like we're going to get this no problem. And it can secure kills, but again, it's one of those things that it's hard to use. And it's going to take a little bit of practice before you really get it down, especially if you're trying to reposition enemy heroes and not just deal damage with the frag grenade. His E ability is the run and gun. This is a very short dash in a single direction. With the changes to Nazebo that just happened, I do not believe that run and gun will get out of a zombie wall, but do not quote me on that. I'm pretty sure he's still... Like, you can't go through walls and stuff with it, including zombie walls. Like, does HoTs have a memory leak? That's the word on the street. But all in all, it's a pretty solid kit. It allows him to team fight very well. We're just going to go ahead and turn that minigun on, start to trade into this Arthas, and when he starts to run away, we'll turn on our Q and then chase after him. And that is essentially the backbone of his skill set. He is so good when your team has the upper hand and the enemy team is going to be retreating away from you, because his kit is designed so well to actually chase after people with overkill. The hardest part of playing him right now is just getting in your minigun stacks. It is very important, especially with the build that I'm going, that you take the time to actually build this up. The talent we took at level 4 is called In the Rhythm, and that allows us to increase the duration of our minigun based on how many auto attacks we land while minigun is active. And this can build up over the course of a game to be a massive bonus. Let's go ahead and turn overkill on. We are going to be hitting Arthas with it. If he turns around to fight us, we'll turn on the minigun and stay here. But it looks like the enemy team actually pressuring us out of here. I'm going to go the safe way where our Gazlo is going and try to help out with this objective. I don't want to go too aggressive with my positioning. Like, I didn't want to go down this way because they could have pretty easily killed me. Looks like the smart thing to do here is going just to be to trade. We can turn the minigun on, though. Get a few shots in before we leave. And yeah, basically it just builds up over time. So whenever you activate minigun, you need to make sure that it's very intentional. You need to make sure that you're in a position to actually build up those stacks, and you'll be rewarded for that. And I think that's a great addition to his gameplay. Also, this is where a lot of his survivability comes from too at level 13 with That's the Stuff. And I'm really talking about his talents a lot more because Tychus ran into an issue that a few other characters did, where his main talent build previously was just generic talents. He was kind of known as the tanky assassin, or the tank assassin. Let's go with that wording because I can use it really cleverly here in a second. He was known as the tank assassin because his entire build was based off of the idea of becoming extremely tanky so you didn't die. If you wanted to play an assassin, but you didn't really want to worry about whether or not you could survive through altercations, you would pick Tychus because you had first aid, you had stone skin, you had blood for blood, and you also got an additional health bar for a long time when you jumped into Commander Odin. That additional health bar would basically allow you to live through everything. So it really became... Can we dodge this? He didn't use it yet. Let's just turn on minigun and try to deal some damage, team. We're gonna die. We're gonna die regardless. We might be able to knock him back a little. Oh! Oh, run a gun! Oh my god, we made it. Miracles do happen. Oh, I didn't pick my heroic ability. I think we're gonna go with the drill. No, let's go with the Odin, just to talk about it. So the Odin used to give you an additional health bar. This was very common back in the early days of development. The Earth, Wind, and Fire gave Chen an entirely new health bar for a very long time. And then, of course, the Viking longboat gave the Vikings a new health bar. So it wasn't out of character. I messed up my minigun there a little bit, but we'll get some stacks here. It wasn't out of character to have an ability that would give you an entirely new health bar that you could work with. But Tychus's was the first to be removed. Like, they said, this doesn't fit an assassin, so they took it out of the game. Once that happened, he was still very tanky because he still had those generic talents that allowed him to live through everything. He was still the tank assassin, but it was definitely a big hit to his ability to tank as an assassin. Blizzard did a full talent rework for Tychus, and now he is the tank assassin in regards that he actually does way more damage to high health targets than just about any other character in the game. Again, assuming you position correctly and you are able to get these minigun shots off. Now, there are some problems with this. He still had trouble surviving through things after he lost his generic talents, which was a big deal, which was a really big deal. I might be able to get a couple kills here. I don't know. We can at least kill Arthas, right? Really? What? Seriously? Seriously? Arthas is gonna get away? I mean, I know he has the top hat from... Yeah, he got away. Well, shit. I knew he had the top hat from Abathur, but... I thought I was gonna be able to get him, team. Oh, I just learned something. I didn't know you could walk through this without taking tower damage. That's kind of cool. Alright, let's deal some damage to this. So there were still some problems, and his talents skewed heavily towards the Draken laser drill, just because once you didn't have that health bar on Odin, why the fuck would you pick it? There's also a weird caveat with Tychus that all of your talents are building around generic abilities, or your baseline abilities, excuse me. All of your talents are buffing like your Q, your W, your E, or at least it previously was. And then you would hop into an Odin, and you would have new abilities that don't benefit from any of your talent selections throughout the course of the game, and you get real no survivability increase from it. So it was really, really strange. But Blizzard did go back, took another look at the Odin, and decided that they wanted to give some damage mitigation back to that ability. So now when we hop into this big ol' mech, we do take 25% less damage, and it's just kind of a way for Tychus to get a little bit more survivability. I still think the drill's pretty much better in most situations, but the Odin does give you some survivability. If you're going into quick match and you're against assassin-heavy team comps, which is very, very common in quick matches, I'm sure you guys know, then the Odin can kind of be a way to deal with that. In my warm-up game leading up to this, I actually survived through a lot of triple taps and aggression from enemy team players just because of the survivability that the Odin had. And as you can see, I can kind of tank the drill a little bit more than most players will be able to do with the Odin. It really didn't deal that much damage to me at all. And now we're just going to get away from this and try to rejoin our team. We might be able to finish off Arthas here. We're in a bad spot, team. We're in a real bad spot. I'm trying to heal off the enemy team's Tychus. Looks like I'm going to be able to get that kill, but I couldn't go any further. The zombies from the enemy team's Arthas there doing a lot of damage. Did I say Tychus or Arthas that I was healing off of? I don't really know. Looks like we might lose this objective. We did have numbers advantage going into this, so that's a little upsetting. We could do it, team. Just believe in yourselves. We should be able to run to the middle lane and defend that pretty quickly. The enemy team does have everyone up, and they're not showing on the map, so they're just getting mercenary camps. I was just say they may be going for a boss, but it looks like they're just getting some mercenary camps. I'll swap off this champ next game. Don't worry. Oh god, I gotta shoot stuff. Fun fact about going versus an enemy Illidan is the fact that you actually will get your stacks even if he's evading, I think. Because it should work based off of a system where as long as you land the attack, as long as you auto attack while minigun is up, you'll get credit for what you've been trying to do. We'll use minigun to heal a little bit here. Now the heal from the minigun only works with the level 13 talent and when you're going against enemy heroes. So his sustain does come from being in a team fight and prioritizing those high health targets. This doesn't appear to be going too well, team. We're kind of losing real quick. Let's try to move in here. Maybe retake this. They are rotating middle. Looks like they're going for boss right now. Gazo needs to get the hell out of Dodge. And then boss is going to be taken right now. Do we go for boss or do we try to get our building back? We have people spawning in 4 seconds. I mean, we could try to delay boss if they go for it. I don't know. Let's just go get the building. Let's go get the building. We'll try to retake this shit. At level 16, I am going to go for the Titan Grenade. Actually, you know what? Let's go for the slow. Because we're at a disadvantage and I've been having to run away from people, we can now use our Q to kind of get some distance from these enemies that are chasing us down. I don't think I'll be able to kill this in time. Let's use our Q to kind of cleave this lane down. Now, the Q does do more damage to the first target that you're locked onto, and less to subsequent targets after. It's kind of like, I don't know. It has a priority target, and everything else is kind of just an afterthought. Hopefully I can take this before they channel it. No. Nope. They got an extra shot there. I'm going to try to move down to the bottom and take that, though. Oh, never mind. We're fighting this Illidan now. All right, minigun is active. Let's try to heal. No, I think I'm just dead. I think I'm just dead, team. Motherfucker. Yeah. Yeah, it's not going very well for the home team right now. It's not going very well for the home team right now at all. That was a 4v4. That was a 4v4 here. Wasn't it? Or did Illidan come down to me? I don't really know. I don't really know. It is pretty GG. We can always come back. It's Towers of Doom. They are doing boss right now, though. Like, for real. I mean it this time. That's going to be a bit of a problem. The enemy team is not level 20, so we still have time to fight them if we wanted to. Illidan is pushing the top lane. Arthas, it looks like he might get a kill on our ETC real quick. Nah, ETC is going to be fine. All right, let's move it here. I had a Gazla on the game before this, too, that just kind of ignored everything. Wonder if Gazla's free this week. All right, team, I'm moving in. Oh, that's actually a great mosh pit. Let's try to finish off this Illidan. Switching over to Arthas now. Oh, the grab and drop bomb! Oh, it's beautiful. And remember, anything we have our Q on now is going to be slowed, which allowed our team to catch up, and we actually wiped the enemy team. All right, let's get some pushing in here. Let's get some pushing in here. The enemy team is ahead probably because of the efforts of Abathur. So that's kind of something you have to play around when he's on the enemy team. You should kind of always expect it. This is really good timing for this objective, though. It's going to be up in 26 seconds, and the majority of the enemy team is going to be dead. So we can take down this building, get a fat chunk of XP, and then rotate down to here and get a pretty hefty advantage versus these guys. Also, the bottom lane's pushing in really nicely as well. So, I mean, if I was calling all the shots, we would just push this down really quick and then get the objective. But, of course, I'm not calling the shots, and it looks like we're gonna get the please. I did it. Was it in time? Oh yeah, this is the comeback we needed, team. This is it. That was actually played perfectly. We should defend this really quick because Abathur's pushing that with all of his locusts, and then we're basically hitting reset. We can't give the enemy team anything, though. If the boss comes up, we're gonna have to defend that like immediately. We have to counter all these Abathur bushes. We really have to be on top of this right now. I wish we kind of had some global XP or some global presence, like with a Falstad or a Daka or something right now. But we can make this work. We can make this work for sure. Let me help him get this building. At level 20, I am going to go for basic attack damage deals more to enemy heroes. Your basic attacks deal bonus damage to heroes equal to 1% of their maximum health. This stacks with minigun, which means that this minigun that we've been building throughout the course of the game is going to increase the duration when we continue to hit with it, and we're going to be healed for more because of our level 20 talent. So basically it's all culminating into this. We used to have a character that was built around the idea of generic talents. Now we have a character that is heavily built around the idea of his minigun, his actual primary weapon. Illidan going in with the hunt on the enemy team's Illidan. We should be able to knock him back with that frag grenade. That's going to be a kill. Now the Draken laser for the enemy team is up, but he's not using it well. That's going to be a kill on the enemy team's Tychus. Let me try to run and gun out of... I should have minigunned earlier. I should have minigunned way earlier, and I could have lived through that. I was going to try to reposition here and then hop into the Odin. Uh-oh. They're saying GG, but there's no mercenaries pushing. There's nothing pushing here. There's nothing pushing here. And Sylvanas is running these minions into the core. This isn't GG at all. We're actually still in this game. Never mind. Yeah, this game over. Oh, well, we tried. And like I said, I'm not the best Tychus in the world either. It's definitely gonna be a learning process for me to get good at him, but it's a learning process that I actually want to undertake. I do think he is worth the time, and as I said, I think he's one of the more underrated assassins in the game. He just has a more specialized playstyle and the fact that he has to be very, very close to the enemies that he wants to deal damage to. And that obviously means that he'll do better with a normal team comp of a front line, some crowd control, and support behind him, kind of making it so he can survive if the enemy team does push back in on top of him, because he will usually be in that vulnerable position. Also, don't feel bad about just attacking the warrior of the enemy team on Tychus. You can really pressure a tank that overextends on him way more than most other characters are able to do. That's never good. When the enemy team is, that's never good. But the talents I used in today's video are as follows. We went for press the advantage at level 1. You're going to be using this to increase your attack range. Again, we mentioned he has a very short attack range by default, so this is a bit of an advantage. And it's going to allow you to stack up your minigun time a little bit easier. If someone is running away from you, you could E forward and get those few extra precious shots in to kind of stack up this in the rhythm timer a bit more. We went for quarterback just so we could deal more damage to long-range targets, or targets that were a bit further out. I went for the Odin just kind of to show how it works. The laser would have been better here in every way, to be totally honest. That's the stuff. Minigun heals you for 100% of the bonus damage that it deals to heroes. So you're going to heal more for high health targets than you are for low health targets. So again, emphasizing that he is now the tank assassin in a different way than he was before. I went for the slow just because I thought it would help me maneuver around a little bit more at level 16, and then sizzle and attacks at level 20, stacks with our level 13 talent, stacks with our level 4 talent, and with our level 1 talent. It also has synergy, and it's just going to increase the damage that you deal to heroes with your auto attack. It's okay that we lost today's game. You can't win a ball, and of course that's not what this series is about. Up next, we're going to have Tyriel. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. If you did, please be sure to hit the thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I will see you all next time.